Elon Musk just created a huge opportunity for Tesla. What's even crazier is how much more money there is still to be made in this wonderful company. In this video, I'm going to break down how you can still make more money on Tesla given that we are now post-election and with the Federal Reserve meeting. This window of opportunity is closing, so there isn't much time that we have here to still capitalize on this opportunity. We can't afford to wait. There's a setup that I really want you to get into, so I'm not gonna waste any of your time. I respect your time. Let's jump right into it. Watch this quick clip on Gene Munster and what he said about Tesla, because this is going to be an absolute game changer.
If Tesla gains 50% share of the US ride-sharing market by 2030, which actually I think is a reasonable target. We'll save that discussion for another day, but that would add about 20% to operating income. And so stock's up 15%, that adds 20%. Now they can take this in other parts of the world, but a lot of it got priced in a hurry. I'm a big believer in what that means. The one piece that maybe wasn't priced in today is that if they sell more robo-taxis, Elon's talking about 2 to 4 million a year ultimately. That'd be about a third of total Tesla deliveries. I'll take the under on that. I think it's probably closer to 1 to 2, but that's another piece. So Melissa, to answer your question, I think that this kind of fairly reflected or started to price in some of the robo-taxi opportunity.
Yeah, and then that's where analysts and so many Wall Streeters got so bullish after that Cybercab event. That's where they sort of said, you know, the market cap could be X, Y, and Z above what it is right now.
Guys, check it out. Tesla has been on an absolute tear, and we need to talk about this. I have 1,000 shares of Tesla. I made $121,000 in a really short amount of time on Tesla stock. And specifically, I think that the market cap is going to reach $2 trillion. Now, why do I think that? Well, actually, this is a thought from Gene Munster as well as many other investors on Wall Street. They're looking at Tesla and they're predicting that the stock will have a total market capitalization of $2 trillion. Right now, Tesla's at around $1.1 trillion. So I'm going to be sharing my research with you and going down the list of what the opportunities are in Tesla and what I'm specifically going to be doing with the stock. Because right now, the stock, I'm up $120,000 in a short amount of time. A lot of my options right here are just put options. I do not have covered calls. I'm letting my shares completely run, and that's been the best decision that I've made this year so far. And I think there's still a lot more money that we can make here. So look, check it out. A lot of this actually has to do with robo-taxis, which I want to cover as my long-term thesis. But first, I want to go over my short-term thesis because you might not have time to watch this whole video. So let's just first give you the whole blueprint, the summary of the short-term thesis. The short-term thesis is this. Elon Musk is an active supporter and campaigner for Trump in the election. That equals power, okay? Now that Trump's in the White House and Elon Musk and Trump are like buddy-buddy, that's going to be a very big benefit to Tesla. Now, I don't know to what extent, but I'm telling you there's going to be influence and power, and that's going to translate into some regulatory stuff. That's going to translate into Tesla stock having a really, really good 4 years. Like I said, Elon Musk will have influence over the White House, and you know, maybe this has nothing to do with the business of Tesla, but it's going to impact Tesla indirectly. All right. Now, I also want to say that in Trump, we Musk. Okay, I saw that quote or comment somewhere and I thought it was really funny. In Trump, we Musk, okay? So given this relationship, I think there's gonna be the best 4 years of Tesla. And also just looking at, you know, obviously politics are really important. If you think politics don't play a huge role in making money, you're absolutely out of your mind. Politics is money. It's a business. Everything's a business. Doctor's a business. Everything's a business, right? Politics is especially a business. And I think politics is really important for Tesla due to regulatory actions, right? As well as EV tax credits, right? EV tax credits have been a huge contributor to EV adoption, and they're going to be going away, which I actually mentioned in my last Tesla video. Before Tesla was over $300 per share, you can watch that video by just visiting my channel, that EV tax credits are going to have a big impact on Tesla. Now, let me tell you, because I've gotten a lot of questions, and myself as a financial analyst, I used to be a financial analyst on Wall Street. Let me tell you what I think about the valuation, and because I've analyzed Tesla's numbers, and I think the valuation, I have a lot of thoughts to it, okay? So here, let me go down through my research. This is from the research that I've done. I spent a lot of hours on this, all right? Tesla's forward PE ratio is jaw-dropping, guys. It's like, its PE ratio is 100. That means for every dollar that they're earning, you are paying 100 times to own this stock, okay? That is jaw-dropping numbers. Now look, to put that into perspective, look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA is a fantastic growth stock, right? It's only at 39 times earnings. And even giants like Microsoft and Amazon, they also sit in PE ratios of well below 50, okay? The best companies in the world, the fastest growing, are below 50. Tesla's at 100. The valuation on just from the front, right? If you're just looking at it from the front view, it's shocking. It's alarming, right? I am concerned. However, let me point out something very important when it comes to Tesla and how I made a lot of money and why I think there's still more room to run for the stock. Folks, it's very simple, all right? This stock doesn't trade on fundamentals. It trades on momentum, which is something I've covered a lot on this channel. And I've actually had my momentum wheel strategy, which I think a lot of you guys saw my momentum wheel strategy. This stock is running on momentum, okay? Momentum is the biggest force in the market. It's kind of like gravity, but the opposite, right? We're pulling up right now and we want to ride that momentum. It's like a wave, okay? You don't have to have the biggest boat to benefit from a wave. The wave goes up, you're all rising boats, there's that quote, right? All high tides rise boats, right? So this stock is going to continue to run, and I think it's going to continue to run to $500 per share because of Elon Musk, his campaign support and Trump in the election, which is going to equal power, his influence over the White House to some degree. I don't know to what degree, right? I'm not a predictor of politics. I'm not even a political guy. I could care less, right? I'm trying to put some money in your pocket. I'm trying to gain more wealth. I'm trying to do I'm not trying. I'm the best option trading coach. That's my goal, right? I don't care about politics. So I don't know to what degree, although I do think that there will be some influence there. Now, I've talked about fundamentals because that's obviously what, I've been doing on Wall Street for some time, right? I wasn't on Wall Street for the longest time. I didn't see a point. I wanted to be an investor as fast as possible. If you want to make money, the best way to make money is working for yourself and investing. It's not working for someone else, and it's not paying high taxes, all right? So look, Tesla, I have sold puts. Right now, I'm letting my shares run. I would say right now, if you're thinking about jumping into Tesla, I would honestly aggressively sell put options because I am tempted to buy the stock as it goes to $500 per share in the next, 2025, 2026. But right now, it makes a lot of sense to sell puts, and I would aggressively sell puts. So if I go to trade Tesla options, I would break all my rules because right now we want to ride momentum, and there's two ways to ride momentum, okay? Here's the first way. First way, I would just sell puts short term. You can sell puts for next week, and you can go for an aggressive put sell just to acquire shares, right? Now look, unfortunately, the big momentum spike has already happened, right? Everyone has already made money. I've made 6 figures, and I have Tesla in 2 portfolios. I made multiple 6 figures on Tesla by not doing covered calls, by simply just having the stock, okay? I decided that back when Tesla was around $250 per share, that there was enough momentum for me that I couldn't really ignore it. What I thought about was Tesla is going to have upside. I don't know how much. I did not feel comfortable selling covered calls. Therefore, I actually bought back my covered call and I let my shares ride. The same thing I've done for Palantir, okay? Tesla and Palantir are 2 stocks I've been absolutely 100% correct on, and I've let both ride, okay? I'm super thankful because given election, I was really bullish on the results. I pretty much knew who was gonna win, and I thought that would be a bullish move, which is why I've been telling you guys, buy options actually lately. Do covered calls, sell puts, get 100% into the market. That's what I've been saying, right? That's why we have so many students right now that are making like 8%, 10% per month. In fact, here's a student actually that has been with me for a few months now, and here's his results.
So far, year to date, I am up around $200,000. And I started my portfolio with around $90,000 at the beginning of this year. I think that the most helpful thing has been the community. The community, the coaches being there to resolve my questions, my doubts. Sometimes it can be a little scary in the beginning because you're talking about a lot of money. So being behind people that already gone through those learning paths and are very willing to show you and share with you their insight and their most important strategies, it's really, really helpful. So I did my homework before joining. I almost joined another Discord, which at the end was a fake one or not a one with this kind of great leadership. And so the other thing that I would say is there's a high ROI on investing in this community. I mean, the amount of knowledge and insight you will get from joining this community will very easily pay the investment you will make.
All right, guys. So look, I'm going to sell puts at 330. All right. I'm going to just hold on to my stock. That's all I'm doing. Sell puts aggressively. Don't even worry about delta. Well, the delta here is actually 0.3, so this actually goes according to my sweet spot. I actually thought this would be a higher delta. This is only 0.3, so that's actually perfect. Go for 0.3, 0.4 delta if you want to acquire Tesla stock. If you're already in Tesla stock, just let the shares run. If you have covered calls, roll those covered calls up, okay? Watch the recent video I've had on rolling, because you want to roll to make more money. There's a lot of things to do with Tesla. There's just a whole lot of money to be made. I can make this video super long, but I'm trying to be as efficient as possible because I respect your time. Let me cover my long-term thesis. I've told you my short-term thesis. I told you why. I told you how much I think is going to happen, and I even gave you that fundamental breakdown. Now look, this is my long-term thesis here. So here's the long-term thesis. I personally assume that Tesla is going to have about 1 million robo-taxis over the next 5 years. Okay, over the next 5 years, I think we're going to see driverless cars just driving us around, okay? That's scary, and I kind of don't want to get into a driverless car, but nonetheless, economically, it's going to happen, right? Because not having a driver and having the car drive you means that A, there's going to be a lot of people that want to get in on this business. They're going to buy Tesla like crazy. And then B, at the end of the day, I mean, people want to save money, right? Unless you have money falling from the sky, you want to probably save money, right? For the most part, I think 90% of people or more, right? Given the choice of a $45 ride with a person or a $27 ride with a Tesla, I think people are going to pick the $27 ride, right? Because that is a decent amount of savings. That's a whole lunch right there, right? So people are going to have free lunch, I guess, which in economics, the principle of one of the first lessons of economics is there is no free lunch. But I think because Tesla literally has such lower costs, it's going to actually provide like a free lunch in terms of like the cost savings, that there's going to be 1 million robo-taxis over the next 5 years. And let's just say people are estimating $200,000 per year on these robo-taxis. Let me just say on the low end, we're going to have $100,000. So look, 1 million robo-taxis, $100,000 per year, that's going to be $100 billion of revenue. Now, Tesla might achieve $40 net margin, which I think is comparable to, software-like margins. A lot of software companies do have 40% net margin. All right, and since Tesla could earn both on the subscription of, the Tesla autonomous vehicle, as well as, other revenue streams. I don't know all the revenue streams are going to have, but I think it's going to be around 40%. That would basically be, you can see on the screen, 100 billion revenue times 40% margin, which is $40 billion in net income. Now, a tech earnings, right? I was a tech analyst. A tech future earnings or a forward earnings multiple, right? Let's say that this is common in the market, is 25 PE ratio. Tesla's at 100 right now. Me putting a 25 PE ratio is being very reasonable, all right? 40 billion times 25 PE ratio, that's a $1 trillion valuation. That is what I think will be added to Tesla's valuation over the next 5 years. But maybe that'll get realized sooner, maybe that'll get realized later. I'm not going to try to predict the stock at when it'll do that. It just, I know it will. I don't know what time period exactly, but I'm telling you in the next 12, 24 months, just like I predicted Palantir, just like my portfolio's at, it's approaching $4 million. Actually, let's take a look at my 1 week results because they were pretty good. My 1 week results, 5.9%. Just like I've been right on the money with so many options, you can see all the options here. I believe Tesla will approach a $2 trillion valuation in the next couple of years. And I think right now it's a really good time to ride the wave, okay? Unfortunately, you might have missed out on a lot of the easy gains, but I think there's still more gains to come. So $500 per share on Tesla, I think very reasonable in the somewhat near future.